Hello my friends all over the world, wherever you are. Today I'm going to be making another juice with collard greens, red Swiss chard, my favorite green French sorrel, and assorted other vegetables. Let's look at the rest of my ingredients. Now here next to my red Swiss chard and collard greens are 2 heads of romaine lettuce, 1 small cucumber, 1 medium-sized beet, about 60 grams of turmeric, some ginger, a whole head of garlic, of course French sorrel, and carrots. So let's make some juice. Now as usual, I'm going to plug in my thermometer, put in 3 ice cubes to cool down the cutter in the feed tube, and then I'm going to start with my red Swiss chard and the collard greens and do the rest of my greens. I always like to do greens first and then follow it up with carrots. So remember to always keep this covered. Today I'm doing another test with the near zero blowback cutter, and I'm going to start with the red Swiss chard, feed the stem end in first. Remember, even though you have a near zero blowback cutter, always keep this covered. You don't want to risk any accidental blowback. So always keep that covered, feed in the stem end in first. I'm really impressed with how well the zero blowback cutter does greens. So roll it into a tube, put the stem end in first. Now we'll take a couple of collard leaves, fold it in half, roll it into a tube, feed in the stem end in first. Tube, feed in the stem end in first. Now look how smoothly those greens go through that cutter. Very impressive. Again, fold it in half, roll it into a tube, put the stem end in first. Now with greens, it's a good idea to clean your grid often, because greens are very, very fibrous. The more often you clean your grid, the easier your juicing process is going to be. So we'll continue with the collard greens. Now the romaine lettuce. Put in some turmeric next. Cucumber, a whole head of garlic, ginger, rotate your bowl, 1 medium-sized beet, up to 25 degrees centigrade, so we'll put in 3 more ice cubes. Rotate your bowl, more French sorrel, now I want to remind you again, even though with the near zero cutter it's okay to drop your produce in, try not to get into that habit. It's a bad habit to drop it in. Feed your produce in. I want to remind you, when you do your last 2 carrots, to put some pulp in here to force that last plug through. And then we'll clean the feed tube, mix the produce, and make some juice. The next step, of course, is to mix your produce thoroughly. And I'll remind you again, whenever you've got carrots in your mix, you do not need to use bamboo liners, because carrots prevent your pulp from sticking to your cloth. Rotate your bowl in both directions to get a really good mix. I'll start by putting 3 ladles full of pulp into the cloth, approximately a cup to a cup and a half's worth of pulp. Fold it into thirds, and I'm going to set that aside because I'm going to press 2 cloths at a time and demonstrate my less work 6 cloth method. And I'm going to add about 10% of distilled water. I don't like my juice to be 100%. It's very, very concentrated as it is. So let's make more juice. Pull this forward, this goes over, the spent cloths go on top. Centered left to right, centered front to back, all the way back, and back it off a little bit. What I'm going to do with these spent cloths is form it into a tighter package and press it again to show you how the Whole Health Foundation Premium Model Juicer can actually make 10% more juice. And that's because of the premium bottom plate and other premium parts on the Whole Health Foundation Model Juicer. Okay, I'm going to set this container aside. I've got 6 packets of double cloths here of reprocessed pulp. I'm going to use a measuring beaker to show how we can get over 10% more juice than any other juicer. And we'll put these cloths in the center, centered left to right, centered front to back. It's very important to be in the center. Turn that on all the way, and when I get juice flow, I'm going to back it off a little bit because I don't want that to go up too fast. There we go, and back it off a little. That's it all the way. Back that off and put in 2 more cloths full of pulp. All the way back, and when I get juice flow, I'm going to back that off. Those first 2 gave us 7 ounces. Back that off a little bit. When we get some traction there, we'll advance that a little bit more. Remember, you do not want that to go up so fast. So there we have 16 ounces, advance it a little bit more. And then there we have 17 ounces. Well, I'm going to stop this now. I could get more juice out of that, but I want this juicer to be, this juicer demonstration to be as short as possible. So 17 plus ounces. Just set that tray back, pour this into the collection bowl, and fill more bottles. Well, my friends, as you can see, I got 10 bottles of juice from this small batch of produce. And remember, one of these bottles, plus enough for a taste test, came from pressing the spent pulp again using the Whole Health Foundation Premium Model Juicer. So let's do a taste test. Now for a taste test, and remember, the greens I used this time were Swiss Chard, collard greens, and a large batch of French sorrel with assorted other produce that you saw at the beginning of this video. So let's taste it. I can really taste the predominance of French sorrel in this juice, one of my favorite greens. And I hope you like what you've seen in this video showing you another example of using the zero blowback cutter. And if you like what you've seen, please tell a friend. If you'd like to call me, my phone number is 760-753-0321. My email address is developtrust@cox.net, and my webpage is wholehealthfound.com. I'll see you in the next video.